Our plan is clear, is to fight corruption.
When are the people of Lebanon going to get back
I
their
know
looted
we are
money?
very much aware and committed to that. You have never letting me finish the answer. Hezbollah, whether you like it or dislike it, represents a large component of Lebanese society.
Even before the coronavirus pandemic, Lebanon's economy was plummeting through the floor. Decades of catastrophic mismanagement and rampant corruption have pushed almost half the population into poverty. Joining me from Beirut this week is the country's Foreign Minister, Nassif Hitti. As Lebanon negotiates urgently for assistance, what guarantees can he give that his government is any better than the previous ones? Nassif Hitti, welcome to Conflict Zone.
Thank you.
2 weeks ago, your Prime Minister, Mr. Diab, wrote an article in a US paper pleading for international assistance and blaming Lebanon's dire situation on a combination of political mismanagement and corruption. Why do you think that the rest of the world, with its economy in tatters from the coronavirus, should simply hand you huge sums of money and let you do the same thing all over again?
Well, first and foremost, because we're not going to do what happened before. From day one, when we started working in this government, our plan is clear, is to fight corruption, to go for structural reform, and I underline structural reform. It's not minor reforms, it's basic reforms in the philosophy of the economy, not only in the financial sector, but the economy, which is the basic matter to address, to go away from a rentier economy as much as we can, and go into some productive sectors of the economy, the agricultural economy, the little industrial thing and new technology, while maintaining, of course, our service sector, which is very important, and liberal economic model.
With great respect, Mr. Hitti.
We're committed to transparency.
With great respect, these are just words and intentions without a clear plan to deal with your patronage-ridden public sector.
Well, if you allow me to continue.
Yeah, but
you can judge. Of course, it's for you to judge the way you like to see it, of course, and I have to see it as we are saying it. We're starting on this matter. It has been 100 days now. Of course, we're taken by the COVID-19 problem, which is not an excuse, but it's a problem weighing heavily on us. But what I'm suggesting, we're committed to that matter. This is why the world must try us, but I'm not saying to give us a blank check. What we have been saying and what we have been doing is the following. We're reaching out to all countries, members of the International Support Group for Lebanon, to all international regional organizations with which we're dealing, we're cooperating, on one hand, as well as open to the civil society, to representatives of different sectors of the economy.
I hear your intentions. Your public sector has been looted for decades by the same sectarian powers that still dominate your country.
Well, this is what we're trying. You never allow me to finish the phrase, so I'm listening to you now. Go tell me what we should do. Perhaps we can profit from you.
I haven't finished the question. You think these warlords and power brokers...
But you have never letting me finish the answer.
You've been giving me a great answer for a couple of minutes. Do you think these warlords and power brokers who control so much in Lebanon will just sit around while you shine a light on all their dirty dealings, and then they'll just say sorry and hand back all the billions that they've stolen? You really think that's going to happen?
We are not going to think so. Thanks for putting this question. We know it's an uphill struggle. We know it's a key challenge, and we have to stand up to the challenge or fail. I know the difficulties. I fully agree with you about the seriousness of the challenges, about how heavily they are weighing on us since years, but we have to come out with an answer. Otherwise, we will not be taking the road that we promised to take. That's a very important matter. I fully agree about the challenges, the nature of the challenges, the magnitude of the challenges, but we have to come out with an answer to these challenges and create a sort of rupture with the past and start on a new foot.
Your country's record doesn't inspire confidence, does it? Since the Civil War, Lebanon has promised 4 times to reform in return for 4
It seems, sir, you enjoy speaking about the past. I'm telling you about the future. If you want to go into the past, we can have a lesson in history now.
Yeah, but why should anyone
I'm trying to tell you, we know the stories, we learn the lessons, we're telling the international community, look at us and let's see if we succeed. We are planning to succeed. We're committed to success because we have to save our country. Again, I agree with you about your description of the situation, which I already know, we all know. And again, I'm saying it's a major challenge. Let's see for you if you can succeed in facing up to it. And this is the challenge that you are taking on us, is to succeed this matter with the cooperation. It's our prime responsibility as Lebanese government. It's not an easy matter. I fully agree with you. It's a very difficult matter because of this well-established, well-entrenched system that you rightly described and with which I fully agree with you. But this is the only road that you have to take to create a rupture with the past. The challenges are very important, very deep, but we have to take, this is the only available road to get out of this messy situation.
Yes, I understand what you're saying, but it doesn't help when the team that you sent to talk to the IMF, figures from the presidency, the finance ministry, central bank, prime minister's office, they present conflicting views about what needs to be done. Your own officials don't even agree on what should be done. Hardly surprising when they come from different sectarian factions. So if this represents the new broom that you're talking
some
about,
come with conflicting,
it looks
what you say, different
like
views.
The old broom.
I'm telling you, we're coming out of a very difficult situation. We are developing a common policy. Again, we admit it's not an easy matter, but we are progressing on this matter and engaging into this road that we have to take, the negotiations with the IMF. I understand the problems very well of political sectarism in Lebanon, the impacts of it on the system, all the problems that it has created for decades now, but we have to try to move out gradually as much as we can out of this system and focus on creating and consolidating state institutions.
Mr. Hitti,
I'm not saying it's an easy task, but I'm saying this is the only way in order to salvage the country.
Mr. Hitti, the fact is that you're drowning in disunity, as you have done for decades, and the people know it. You just look at the very public fight between your Prime Minister and the Governor of the Central Bank. These are arguably the two most important people in Lebanon at the moment, and they're slogging it out in public as the country's economy goes into meltdown and your currency falls through the floor. What does that tell the rest of the world, this very public fight between these two extremely important figures?
Well, there were some differences, of course, but now we're working out in harmony, developing a position represented by the government, by the Prime Minister and the government on trying to project, different steps in a strategy of negotiations with the IMF.
You talk about harmony.
We're aware of the past problems. I'm sorry.
I say you talk about harmony.
We're very much aware of.
You talk about harmony, but even the banks don't agree on your rescue package, do they? And they're at the heart of your crisis.
Well, I'm saying we are working on developing and consolidating a policy on that matter. I am very much aware of the Banking Association position, of what the Governor of the Central Bank has said, but we are developing a position, different assessments to reach a well-developed position, official position, which is the position of the government to negotiate on, to be the basis of the negotiations. I never suggested, nobody would suggest that it's an easy matter. We're coming out of a very messy situation. The situation is still difficult economically with its social and other implications in the country, but this is a road to which we are committed, which is to go into real change, real reforms, and let's wait and see for you as concerned observers if we succeed or if we don't succeed. We draw the lessons of the past that you rightly described, and we have to get out of of that situation that existed in the past and that had very dramatic effects on the Lebanese economy and the Lebanese polity in general, not only politics.
Mr. Hitti, it might have been a good idea if you'd consulted the banks on the rescue package. Hardly a brilliant move, not even to consult them,
We are consulting, not to interrupt you. Thank you for the advice, but we do have consultations. We're all engaged in consultations to strengthen the official policy of the country for negotiations and for the strategic planning of tomorrow.
You tried cross-party talks with other political factions. At least 5 parliamentary blocs boycotted your talks, saying they didn't want to be made scapegoats for the government's past failings. Again, that hardly inspires confidence of the international community, does it? To see that Lebanon is as fractured and divided as ever.
We're open for discussion. Sure, we are open for. Let me give you an example. At the last meeting hosted by the Prime Minister at the Sarai, with the members, states and organizations of the SADR group, we invited, as Lebanese government, 4 different NGOs, very qualified NGOs, among them research centers and groups, to present their views. And I consider this is very important because they presented a view or views that are not the official government views, just to inject more ideas and more creative thinking in order to develop more or a stronger policy in terms of the salvation of the country. So we're open up to that. As I started telling you, sir, we're open up internally to different factions. We extend our arms to anybody who would like to discuss. We ask people to come and discuss. Different political sensibilities, different political groups are welcomed to suggest what they have to suggest. We want to have a national dialogue, an all-comprehensive national dialogue with representatives of different sectors of the economy, of the societies, of the civil society on one hand, as well as on the other hand, with countries which are supportive of Lebanon. What you are saying, we are not saying we have a plan with a capital P, take it or leave it.
I understand that. I understand
with main ideas, main out.
You've had fresh violence. You've had fresh violence in the streets in May, and it's clear that you're not the government people wanted. You talk about consulting civil society. The Beirut Madinati civil society group described your cabinet.
I never know that you're speaking for the people. I accept. This is. Can I
I'm telling you what the people are telling you.
This is not the government that the people wanted. Yes, I'm answering.
The Beirut Madinati civil society group described your cabinet as an insult, a provocation of the people, and a disdain for their dignity. That's a far cry.
Good.
A far cry from the salvation government.
I got your message. I got your message. If you give me 1 second, I respect all views. Those who are against us from point 1 before the government was formed and when the government is formed, and we are extending our arms to all of those to come and discuss and present their views and ideas. We need a national dialogue, a constructive national dialogue. So those who criticize us, we respect their criticism, and we are asking them to come and discuss with us and say how could we develop a national salvation plan.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, Hezbollah. You may not be a Hezbollah government. You've said you're not a Hezbollah government, but they were certainly the midwife that assisted at the birth of this government. Let's also be clear that Hezbollah has taken part...
We had many midwives in the birth of this government. With all due respect to your view, I'm telling you, we have many midwives. I'm using the same term, and we want to have as representative as possible a government we have in this matter.
May I just finish my question? May I just finish my question?
Unity, if you allow...
May I just finish my question?
I'm listening.
Hezbollah has also taken part in previous Lebanese governments that have so catastrophically mismanaged the country in years gone by. I'm asking, how does that qualify Hezbollah to become part of the solution now?
Well, Hezbollah, whether you like it or dislike it, represents a large component of Lebanese society. It's a main political party, political actor in Lebanon, and everybody is welcome to join and help us in this, whether being involved directly or supportive or not supportive of the government. Let's see, for the observers, internal observers and external observers like you, sir, if we succeed.
You say this, and I hear what you say. Why should the West lift a finger to help a government that's effectively been constructed by Hezbollah, which is widely viewed around the world
we are not
as
instructed or constructed. What you're saying is a point of view, sir. It's not absolute reality. Allow me to speak. I got your point. What you're saying is a point of view. Yes, you have the right to express your point. I'm answering you. I'm telling. Can I answer you? Would you give me a second to answer you?
About the terrorist organization.
Thank you. I'm saying, which terrorist organization?
Hezbollah is widely seen around the world as a terrorist organization.
It is not seen around the world. It's considered by some, but it is not what this some, I don't agree with this view. You might disagree ideologically, politically, strategically with the Lebanese political party, the Lebanese National Resistance Movement. That's your right to do so. But it's represent a major component of the Lebanese society, social component and political component. What I'm saying, take us to test as a government. I'm telling our Western countries to which we are committed to develop the best out of relations, culturally, politically, socially, economically, strategically with the Western countries. We're very close to most of those countries. We have very good relations which we want to develop, to deepen, strengthen, and enlarge these Western countries. Take us to test in about what we are doing, what we are planning to do, not in about what is said here or there, or about any ideological sloganeering or ideological views.
Well, let's just look at some of the specifics that Hezbollah are accused of. Britain says that the organization continues to amass an arsenal of weapons in Lebanon in direct contravention of UN Security Council Resolutions 1701 and 1559, putting the security of the region at risk. They also support terrorism in Iraq and the Palestinian territories. Do you approve of those actions?
What you call terrorism in Palestine is National Liberation Movement. Israel is a terrorist state, and Israeli policies are terrorist policies of occupation, of wanting to, just destroy the national identity of a people, of wanting to usurp of international law, of human rights, of self-determination principles. That's a terrorist policy conducted publicly by Israel, officially by Israel. So we are committed to peace. We're committed to Arab Peace Initiative in the Arab world. Allow me to finish, sir. We're committed to the Arab Peace Initiative that's based entirely on UN Security Council resolutions, voted by first and foremost by the 5 permanent members and supported by the international community. So let's see who is conducting terrorist policies here and there. With all the respect, you could have a difference, and I respect the difference that you have with any political parties in Lebanon or with any Lebanese foreign policy. But what you are saying here to our Western friends, take us to test, help us, engage us in a dialogue, in a comprehensive dialogue about how we are planning to move forward to just get Lebanon out of this messy situation. The instability of Lebanon, addressing the instability and creating a societal stability in Lebanon is first and foremost the responsibility of the Lebanese people, but it's also in the interest of the region, and it's in the interest of the Mediterranean region and of the international community. We are open to all ideas, critical ideas, comprehensive ideas about a particular point or other things to discuss with us. We're very much open to dialogue. We are reaching out to everybody to the dialogue. We accept criticism. We welcome criticism. We want to discuss and try to get out of this situation.
With respect, if you don't address the accusations that are made by Western governments against Hezbollah, you're never going to inspire confidence in the Western countries. That's the solution now. To give you money.
I got your point. Let me answer. Accusations are not realities, with all due respect to everybody.
They come from some pretty highly respected governments.
Absolutely, and we have very good relations, and we want to develop these relations with the Western Europe, with the US. We're committed to develop and to discuss openly and to find common ground with these governments and of these countries. We are very much, we always had good relations, and we want to develop furthermore these relations.
And when Hezbollah is accused of terrorism, you turn around and simply accuse Israel of terrorism. How helpful do you think that is to your cause?
Of course. Well, this is not to my cause. Hezbollah in Lebanon is a resistance movement fighting on the Lebanese. It was fighting on Lebanese territories. You might disagree or agree with its policies. I'm talking about the Lebanese government, not about the policy of one particular party. But when we are mentioning Israel, Israel is still occupying Arab land, Palestinian lands, Syrian lands, and Lebanese lands. Israel is trying to destroy entirely the Palestinian national identity at a moment when we are committed entirely to a peace process based on UN Security Council resolutions and on principle and rules of international law. So tell me who is conducting a terrorist policy. In the Arab Peace Initiative adopted since 2002, we call for a comprehensive peace that addresses all tracks and all dimensions of the conflict to turn the page and create a peaceful Middle East in which Israel could exist within 67 borders based on the UN Security Council resolutions that were adopted by the international community, not by Lebanon and the Arab countries. That's our commitment and clear commitment. So anyone who would like to address terrorism or to fight radicalism in the region must address the basic roots of radicalism and terrorism in the region, of whatever you call terrorism. Respecting international law, respecting UN Security Council resolution, this is where the issue must start. And this is a sine qua non condition to establish a new Middle East based on cooperation and leading to prosperity, sir.
Mr. Hitti, are you prepared to subject Hezbollah to the kind of scrutiny that might show where their funds and weapons have been coming from and where they're going? Are you prepared to challenge Hezbollah to be transparent? It's hardly
Lebanon,
a transparent
the government of Lebanon,
is
the
it?
state of, allow me to finish, the state of Lebanon decides what would happen on its own territories. We have a sovereign decision. I respect that you disagree with us, but we set the rules in our country, we set the criteria, and we're willing to discuss with anybody anything of common interest. We're very much open to our Western friends. I keep telling you, we have the best of relations. We might have differences with certain government at one point of time. We need to address these differences and find common ground to work together.
Well, the record doesn't inspire confidence, does it? Because look how Hezbollah behaved in 2008 when they didn't like the government actions against them, and when the government attempted to remove Hezbollah's
Sir,
corrupt...
I'm telling you
Could
about
I
the
finish
past.
the question,
Are we discussing
please,
the foreign
Could
policy of Lebanon and the challenge for... Yes, we are discussing...
Could I finish the question, please?
I respect your views, though I might disagree with some of your views on the past of Lebanon.
You won't
let me
finish the question, sir. Yeah. My point is that in 2008...
Yes, I'm listening to you, but
when you look at the way Hezbollah behaved in 2008, when they didn't like government actions then, the attempt to remove their corrupt airport officials and close down their illegal communications, they seized parts of Beirut by force and brought them to a virtual standstill. That's what happens when you challenge Hezbollah. Who says that isn't going to happen again?
Well, wait and see. We are in a different situation. You presented a political assessment of a political security conflict in that time. I respect your views. There are different views on that matter. I might agree or disagree with you. This is beside the point. But we are looking to the future. We are looking today to the future. So let's see how things will develop. As a government, we're very much committed. I'm not telling you we don't have many challenges internally and externally. We're very much committed to get Lebanon out of the situation, because this will serve the stability of the country first and foremost, but also it will serve the interests of all those who would like to see stability in the region.
When are you going to stop cracking down on people who are exercising their right to free speech? Human Rights Watch said in March that
we are not cracking down on people, sir. We always condemn certain misuse or excessive use of force, sometimes in the street. We are committed to the right of each and every individual, each and every Lebanese to demonstrate in the street and to engage in dialogue, in open dialogue and discussion.
But that's not borne out by reality. Human Rights Watch...
Allow me to finish. We condemn any act of violence. We condemn any act of violence, of course, and we said it many times, committed against peaceful demonstrators who are expressing very legitimate demands and requests for change.
Human Rights Watch said in March, Minister, Human Rights Watch said in March there'd been a spate of prosecutions against activists and journalists who've criticized government policies. Is that how you meet the people's aspirations? By cracking down on them, prosecuting them for free expression?
I really don't understand, sir, your generalization, and you're making statements as if they are, with all due respect, absolute realities. You're presenting a point of view based on a fact that could be interpreted and misinterpreted. There is no perfect society and no perfect institution in each and every country in the world. So basically, if certain acts which are unacceptable were committed, unacceptable according to our laws, we condemn these acts, and we did it many times. Nobody is saying that there is a perfect situation, but we are committed to that, and every time that we see something happening like what you would describe, we try to correct that matter. We're committed to do that, and we welcome criticism of that matter, sir.
How long do you expect the people to wait for these rights that you're promising, these reforms that you're promising, the end to corruption, and the cry that they keep saying, which is, give us back our looted money. Give us back our looted money. This is what they say. When are the people of Lebanon going to get back their looted money?
We are very much aware and committed to that. It's not that government that looted the money before. It's not this government that created the situation that was before. But however, we are committed to do all what we can with our friends, again saying inside and outside, reaching to everybody in order to get out of this vicious, destructive circle that Lebanon found itself in. I understand the very legitimate frustration as well as the very legitimate demands of the Lebanese population, of which I'm a member. I'm a Lebanese citizen before being a Lebanese official. We understand these problems. We have to get together and try to get out of this very difficult situation. At least we have the commitment and the clarity that we need to get out of this difficult situation.
Nassif Hitti, thanks very much for being on Conflict Zone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Have a good day.